Also with us, the executive director of the Accountability Project, Nomiki Konst. Thanks for being with us, guys.
Hi.
Always good to be here, John.
All right, we want to make sure we give credit to our friend Sarah Westwood over at the D.C. Examiner, Washington Examiner, because we kind of stole this from her. But the question is, Ford, which is the bigger threat to Hillary Clinton right now, Sanders or servers? As an email
Well, if you notice Sarah Westwood's story, I was actually the person quoted in that story.
Oh, I knew you'd throw that in there, Ford.
That's
why I left it for you.
I need all the love I can get. The more Sanders wins, the more servers will be basically amplified. So this is not an either or. This is a chicken and egg if then. And the point is if Sanders wins Iowa, guess what? He has a realistic shot at this nomination.
All right, Nomiki, we want to weigh in here and take Ford down a notch or two?
I do agree with Ford that if Sanders wins Iowa, then he is definitely, I mean, it is a neck and neck race as it is right now. I don't even think, even if he doesn't win Iowa, it is so close right now that he could pick up momentum in South Carolina, and he is picking up momentum in South Carolina among the African-American community, which could possibly even deliver him South Carolina. So that's really the state in question. There's a lot of traction there right now. There's a lot of ground game. And Hillary Clinton's freaking out. I mean, why else would she ask for another debate? Why else would they be going negative in the last, minutes before the caucus? I mean, Bernie Sanders has said he wasn't going to go negative. He was only going to present facts, and he is. But it's in stark contrast. I mean, going after David Brock today for when Hillary Clinton made David Brock has been placing information about Bernie Sanders out there, misinforming voters, that they're shipping in voters, students into Iowa to caucus. I mean, it's getting dirty, and this is a neck and neck race. I don't think servers has anything to do with this. I think that's a Republican game. The Republicans want Sanders to win, but the Democrats don't care about the emails. They just
I have to disagree with Nomiki on that very point. We don't control the FBI.
Well, yeah, but let's talk about that, though, because multiple sources say that Hillary could, in fact, and they believe, is going to be indicted. Ford, how will this affect the race if it happens? Now, Tom DeLay said it on Steve Mullensberg's show. We had Joe DeGeneva say it on our show.
Pat Buchanan's
Look, I hear what you're saying. Let me say this, okay? Here's what Tom DeLay's my former congressman, okay? Right. Here's where Tom DeLay's wrong. The FBI may offer charges to the Department of Justice, and they probably will, and I agree with him on that. But it's the DOJ who indicts, not the FBI, and it's up to Loretta Lynch to pick up said indictment. And I'm telling you, the more Bernie Sanders wins, the more likely Loretta Lynch is to indict.
And Nomiki, what do you think?
I don't even see the logic there. That doesn't even make any sense. The more Bernie Sanders wins, I honestly don't see the logic there. There's no secret that the Obama administration and the Clinton team have had friction. So this vast white ring conspiracy that the Obamas and the Clintons are working hand in hand, I mean, that's just not true. That's like saying
I totally disagree with you, actually, Nomiki. I'm sorry here. President Obama wants to protect his legacy.
Let her finish.
Go ahead, go ahead, Nomiki. Sorry.
Experience. I don't have Hillary people on my cell phone calling me with information. It's just not working that way. There has to be evidence, regardless. Do you think that the Obamas would put their administration on the line if there wasn't evidence? The Department of Justice is investigating. Let them investigate. Everything else is speculation. Pat Buchanan is a political operative as much as he is an opportunist. Tom DeLay is the same thing. They're not sources. Sources are witnesses. Sources are the people that the Department of Justice is using. There's so much speculation to put doubt in voters' minds right now so that Hillary Clinton does not win the Iowa caucus. I am not siding with either one right now, but the Republicans are doing disservice to the Democrats by placing this information to bring trust down.
Ford,
seems to be working.
Last word to you. 30 seconds.
Well, here's the deal. President Obama wants to protect his legacy. So here's what I'm going to predict. Bernie Sanders will not be the nominee. And the reason is because Bernie Sanders will get crushed in a general election. Who would have ever thought that Hillary Clinton would have such heartburn about a 70-year-old gadfly socialist from Vermont? I rest my case.
Maybe she had the ice cream? Too much ice cream. She had the Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
I wonder if that's exactly what President Obama said to Bernie yesterday when they were meeting behind closed doors.
Oh, they had to talk about it a little bit. All right, that's all the time we have for this round. That's all the time we have for this round. But stick around, you two, because we have lots more to talk about. When we come back, while some Republican candidates offer to flock to Trump's event tonight, others, like Ted Cruz, hope to capitalize with a counteroffer. But what are the odds that the Donald will bite? We're going to ask our roundtable. And stay tuned for the candidate tunes that struck a chord on the campaign trail, and not always in a good way. We'll explain when Newsmax Now continues.
Welcome back to Newsmax Now. The Trump-Cruz feud continues, but now it's in a whole new phase, and Ted Cruz is trying to capitalize off Donald Trump's unwillingness to participate in tonight's Fox debate.
If he's unwilling to stand on the debate stage with the other candidates, then I would like to invite Donald right now to engage in a one-on-one debate with me anytime between now and the Iowa caucus.
All right, well, the Cruz campaign also coined Ducking Donald, a hashtag that's been trending on Twitter. A petition urging a one-on-one debate between the two also opened up on Cruz's website. And, of course, we talked about the hat, now for sale on Cruz's website. Just want to make sure if it's made in America or not. Maybe we can find that out. The icing on the cake, though, comes from a pro-Cruz super PAC. They say they will donate $1.5 million to charities committed to helping veterans if the Donald Trump himself agrees to that one-on-one debate with Cruz. An offer hard to refuse, but will Trump take the bait?
I'm guessing the hat wasn't made in Canada. I could be wrong. Rejoining us for our roundtable is Republican strategist Ford O'Connell and Executive Director for the Accountability Project, Nomiki Konst. Nomiki, let's start with you. So far, Trump's responses have been something like this. Even though I beat him in the first 6 debates, especially the last one, Ted Cruz wants to debate me again. Can we do it in Canada?
Burn.
Ooh, Nomiki, does this sound like he really wants a one-on-one debate?
No. I think that he wants to set Ted Cruz up so that Ted Cruz is a recipient of all the attacks tonight. That's really what I'm seeing. I mean, I think it's a multifaceted strategy what Donald Trump's doing right now, but that's one of his biggest goals is to push Ted Cruz to the side because he's creeping up on him in Iowa, and that's a really great way for him to be the recipient of all the attacks. Because the truth is, Donald Trump didn't do that well in the debate last time. And Ted Cruz has been the only one thus far who's been able to attack Donald Trump on stage and actually burn him.
All right,
so,
Ford, if you are advising Ted Cruz tonight, you're backstage behind the debate, here's the question. If you're Ted Cruz, do you mention Donald Trump or not?
Absolutely, you take your free swat at Donald Trump. Let me tell you what's wrong with Ted Cruz's attacks on Donald Trump. Ted Cruz is trying to make this an ideological litmus test against Donald Trump, and that's not how you beat Donald Trump. Nobody cares what Trump's positions are. What you have to prove is that Trump's not a friend to the little man, because it's the little man that's propelling Trump up here in the polls. So you want to know what? Trump is smart because Trump knows that if Cruz doesn't win Iowa, his pathway to the nomination is effectively closed.
But he did that already with eminent domain, and it kind of failed.
No, he didn't do it right. I totally disagree with you, Miranda. I totally disagree with you. He kept saying kilo. Okay, nobody knows what kilo is, but I'm a lawyer.
Right.
Okay?
And nobody really knows what eminent domain is unless you've actually had it in your neighborhood.
Exactly. So what you say is Donald Trump thinks the government should be able to take away your land, no questions asked. Donald Trump supports H-2B visas. Not only will they take your job, illegals, but guess what? He'll also let more terrorists in the country, as we saw with the 9/11 hijackers who overstayed their visa.
You know what kind of surprises me?
But no one's done it yet.
What kind of surprises me is that no one has brought up his business dealings very much. Because if he becomes president, he said his siblings will, or not his siblings, his son and daughter will take over his business dealings. So I'm surprised somebody hasn't tried to hit him on that, saying, who's to say you're not going to make a decision based on your own personal interests or the interests of your family? Nomiki, why do you think that is?
Well, I think that the Democrats have brought it up. I mean, New York Times has reported extensively in the past, few months about Donald Trump's business dealings, and everybody in New York is very familiar. And I think that if Michael Bloomberg does step in, that'll be one of his messages. Is Michael Bloomberg has been an effective businessman, and Donald Trump has sort of snuck his way and rebranded himself into being an effective businessman. I don't think that sells. I think, and I will counter Ford a little bit here. The little man is the independent voter that Donald Trump has. The little man is the voter that's never turned out before for an Iowa caucus. I don't think that's Ted Cruz's #1 target right now. I think that some of the evangelical vote that Donald Trump is strangely picking up in the last few weeks is Ted Cruz's. That's his target. Some of Ben Carson's support, which has been his target for the past several months, he's going to continue to push that. And that's where the ideological message is working, because all he really needs is 4%.
But every poll they've done, they know he's not as religious as they are. Yet they're going for him anyway. Ford, why do you think that is? Last word to you.
Because it's basically about attitude, okay, and how you carry yourself. The point is, They think the system's corrupt. They don't really care which guy or gal fixes it, but they want to believe someone. And that's what they believe with Donald Trump. They believe in his populism and his nationalism. And that's how he's winning and running circles around everyone else, because when they go left, he goes right. It's actually quite brilliant, frankly.
Yeah. And he's a smart man. There's no denying that. He's great when it comes to strategy.
And Ted Cruz better bring his A game tonight, because everybody's going to be gunning for him up on the stage, guys. Thanks for being with us. Always a pleasure to see you two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And coming up tonight, right here on Newsmax, we will carry Donald Trump's entire veteran fundraiser event starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. You don't want to miss that. Plus, we'll also bring you live post-debate coverage immediately following Fox's GOP debate tonight. I'm going to be joined with John, along with J.D. Hayworth, host of Prime, and Ed Berliner, host of The Hardline. Newsmax Now will continue right after the break. It's going to be an exciting night, that's for sure. A lot of fireworks. I'm curious to see how Jeb Bush is going to do in all of this.
Yeah, he's seen a little
had a rough
buoyancy.
time.
You know, he's come up. We mentioned a couple of polls. There's a shot for him. Iowa might not be his best strategy, but he's looking ahead to New Hampshire. He's going to try to build some momentum there. John Kasich, too, same situation. Again, Ted Cruz better bring his A game. It's going to be a rough night for him.